Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. I've had this conversation with a few people. We've talked about this, and when someone left me a comment yesterday, I wanted to address the comment. The comment was, what are my thoughts on a gold revaluation, and could it happen? So I wanted to talk about that in a video. In today's video, I want to talk first about a little bit about what a gold revaluation is, what it means, and then I want to talk about the pros of doing it and the cons of doing it, because it's not just a glitz and glamour. There could be some side effects that would be negative on the country, on the dollar, on the economy, and so I think it's a really good topic. And so when I got asked about it, I said, man, that's what I want to do right there, especially because I was in for an hour already trying to figure out what I was going to do a video on. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment. Do you think they could do a gold revaluation or not? I love to hear it. And if you enjoy the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, before we get started, I always like to go over the numbers. These numbers are basically at midnight last night. We got silver trading at $37.91. It did go up a little bit today, but it also went down since last night a little bit. We've seen it go from 38 down to 37.75 when we filmed the video yesterday, and then all of a sudden we've seen it pop back up to almost 38, and we're kind of hovering right around this range. Now we're going to see how this plays out. A lot going on this month. I'm hoping we're going to see another dollar drop. Would be really nice, especially with the premiums out there. I kind of would like to get my silver, if I pick up any more silver orders like the Sitting Bull Legendary Warrior, I'd like to see it be able to pick them up for under $40 if I can, if I'm lucky, but we'll see how that plays out. Taking a quick look at the gold price, since we're going to be talking a lot about gold tonight, or today. I keep saying tonight because I'm filming it late at night. Gold sitting at $3,339, up and down, pretty much just going sideways. Bitcoin, I can't go without at least mentioning the price of Bitcoin, because I mean, even though I'm a silver stacker, I'm not really pro Bitcoin. I still check the price of Bitcoin every single morning when I wake up and every night when I go to bed. I'm curious what's going on with it and how long essentially this can last. We got Bitcoin trading at $118,450 right now. It is down about $250. I'm not going to even say that's anything major. 118,000 is pretty phenomenal, so it has been doing really good. Taking a quick look at the DXY. DXY right now trading at 98.48. Up a little bit, but I mean, we're pretty much where we were when I filmed yesterday's video, even though we've seen it come down, then we've seen it go up, and pretty much just going sideways. So jumping in right off about the gold revaluation. So the first thing I want to say is, what is a gold revaluation? So, because some people don't know, we're all at different stages. Some people are new to the channel. Some people are new to stacking. Some people have been stacking way longer than me. They have a lot more knowledge than me on this, and they put a lot of time and effort. So that's why I try to kind of target the important points, and that way people can make their own decisions. So right off the bat, a gold revaluation is the process where governments or central bank officials adjust the value of gold reserves, usually to reflect the changes in economic conditions to address financial imbalances. This involves changing the official price of gold on the government's balance sheet, which can have a significant implications for the country's financial standing and the monetary policy. So now I want to talk a little bit about it first before we get too much into it. So this ain't the first time that this conversation has came up. Obviously, right now you're hearing more and more stuff in the news about the potential gold revaluation. So this happened before. Under Franklin D. Roosevelt, the gold was revalued from $20.67 to $35 per ounce, effectively devaluing the value of the dollar and increasing the value of the nation's gold reserves. So who holds the dollars? The people. who holds the gold for the country. Back then, it was just essentially the country because they made it illegal for people to hold gold, punishable by like $10,000 and 10 years in jail or something like that. A lot of people, when they told people to turn in their gold, a lot of people did turn in their gold. They didn't understand the implications of giving up the gold for paper, and they really didn't care. I hate to say it like that. Very few people wanted to hold their gold. So when they revalued it, a lot of people thought maybe, hey, I'll get a little extra money, I'll turn in my gold, boom, I even make a little bit of a profit. But the problem is holding gold is the wealth. Paper, once they control the paper, they can pretty much do whatever they want. And here we are now, on the verge of it probably won't be long before they try to implement a central bank digital currency, so they won't even have to print paper. Now, I'm looking for the other one. I can't remember the exact year that it went from 35 to, was it 70 at the end of the Bretton Woods? I think it went from $35 to 42 something, and it's been held on the books ever since. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I got to say, and you'll hear this again when we talk about the cons to a revaluation. If you've got an asset, say your house, and you're doing a net worth evaluation, why would you want your house that might be worth $200,000 to be valued at, $1,000? There'd be absolutely, in my opinion, no point. A true balance sheet should have, or net worth sheet should have, your actual values of what stuff is actually worth. So the fact that we have a balance sheet and our gold is improperly marked in price is automatically in the wrong, in my opinion. I understand changing the value of that gold will do a lot of different things for the economy, some good, some bad, depending on how stuff plays out. But it gives people a more realistic viewpoint on where we stand. Because right now, when you look at how much we owe as a country, you look at $37 trillion, and it makes it sound like we got $37 trillion in debt with no assets. When you look at the balance sheet, because they've got that gold still valued at some crazy low number. A revaluation can help reduce the country's debt burden. It can make it look better. It can change a lot of the monetary policies. It definitely can affect inflation, because once stuff looks good, people want to spend. When people really see that stuff is bad, then they decide they're going to tighten up their budget. They're going to save. I'll be honest, I try to do a little bit of the opposite. When times are good, that's when I'm saving. I'm like a squirrel. A squirrel, when there's plenty of nuts on the tree, a squirrel puts away them nuts for essentially winter. When there's not many nuts on the tree, it gets to enjoy those nuts from its account. It's basically savings. They're food savings. With me, I like to be tight with my money when things are going good and everybody's spending, because everybody is driving up prices. When times are tough, everybody is selling used cars, they're selling their toys. That's when I get a little bit frivolous with my money. I'll tend to buy more of those, I don't want to say beat down assets, but essentially it is beat down assets. But, it's collectors, it's coin collections, maybe it was Hot Wheels collections, different stuff. And I've done this over and over again. Now, 2008 was a great time to buy houses. 2011 had good opportunity to actually buy collectibles, because we've seen a little bit of a drop in the economy there. Some people, they don't catch what's really going on, unfortunately. And I say that because if you've got a good job, in 2011, I had a great job. I was making good money, working for Eagleford Shell, pumping oil, and I was making plenty of money. Yeah, there might have been a lot of people that were in tough times, but it wasn't tough for me. So you have to understand, when times are tough, that's when you want to spend some money, in my opinion. When times are bad, for me, that's when I'll spend money, when times are bad. But I know a lot of other people have different viewpoints on that. I like to do the opposite of what the majority are doing, because usually the majority are the ones that kind of get slaughtered. I hate to say it like that. Now let's get into real quick to the actual pros of essentially revaluing gold, because I think this is important. The first thing I want to talk about is increased in confidence in the currency, in the US dollar. Essentially, if they revalued gold today to whatever number they choose, maybe they'll use the current market value, maybe they'll use a higher number. We'll get to that towards the end when I tell you guys what I think will happen. I expect, and obviously if they increase the value of the gold on the books, it makes the books look better. So people have more confidence in the dollar. It doesn't make us look like that broke person that can't pay their bills. Because obviously, if you, how do I say this? Because it's about ready to use my personal situation for a minute. And I don't mind using my personal situation. I mean, obviously you guys know that I have a little bit of gold and silver put away. But some people view me as poor. They look at the way I live, they look at how I am, and they think I'm poor. If somebody knew maybe that I had money in the bank, or that I had some gold and silver put away, or that I maybe didn't owe anything at all, it might make me look like, oh wow, he's got his act together. That's where the confidence comes in. Right now, all people hear about and see is essentially the debt that the United States has, $37 trillion. We don't know if they have the gold. When's the last time we've seen the gold? Yeah, people have said we still got the gold, but have they seen it? You know, they haven't seen it. Very few people have seen the United States gold. And personally, I can't help to wonder if that's why so much gold is getting bought up. Who is this mysterious buyer that's buying up all the gold? I wouldn't be surprised if it's central banks. I mean, we know it's central banks, but it makes sense, you know. So the next one, potential debt reduction and increased spending. So here's the thing. If all of a sudden we owe $37 trillion, hypothetically our gold is worth $37 trillion, we're essentially at a zero balance. So they might feel good, and when people feel good, exactly what I told you, they're going to spend more. More spending by the government will put us essentially in the hole down the road. We don't necessarily want to revalue the gold just so we can be frivolous with our money or our fiat printing and then make mistakes. So you need to be careful with that. And it would give a sense of confidence in the dollar, I believe, and a sense of confidence in it we can spend more. Simulating economic activity. A revaluation could make gold more attractive investment, potentially driving up the prices and inspiring new mining projects. Now, here's the thing. I think this would be great. If silver had an actual real value, I hate to say that like that. I believe that the price of silver is heavily manipulated. And if we had true value on gold and silver, or even a higher perceived value than it is right now, it will make people want to go out and mine more. It will make people want to essentially do more. I don't care if it's panning for gold or if it's setting up a huge multi-million-dollar mine. It's still production, and it still essentially feeds more gold into the system. Now, that more gold could have a negative effect and drive the price down. More gold in the system naturally would lower the price, but it would definitely have an explosion of investment potential. People would want to invest and grow different projects. It could also lead to a lot of infrastructure improvements, because people would say essentially, you know, hey, gold's good. Let's do a lot of projects, build bridges, different stuff. And it would also, like I said, push for more gold extraction, recycling, mining, all the different things. Increase demand for gold as collateral. Now, that's a big one for me, because I've told this story previously that I had tried getting a loan for something, and I was upset that the bank would not use gold as collateral. They'll use Bitcoin in some cases, but they won't use gold, which absolutely irritates the heck out of me, because gold is a tier 1 asset. People like gold. People buy gold. People need gold. But yet, if you're not going to use it as essentially collateral, that's insane. I can tell you right now, my son has borrowed money from me and used small gold coins, the little 1/10 ounce gold, as collateral. And he knows when he pays the money, he's going to get it right back. I don't usually charge him interest. I should, because sometimes he'll loan it to me, take the money, and I've actually seen him buy a couple more coins and then eventually just pay it back. But yet his coins that he got at a cheaper price because it was interest free. And I'm not going to lie, it's a strategy I've used on credit cards. I just didn't really see it happening. Usually if people are going to do that, they have a certain amount of knowledge. So I was kind of happy that he did it because it tells me that he has a certain amount of knowledge on coins and true assets. But then on the flip side, I'm kind of loaning out money for free, interest free, not making anything when I could be making the money off the gold. But it is my son, so I want him to learn, but I also want to help him out. A shift towards commodities. And that absolutely, there might be a lot of people that may shift away even from the dollar or fiat currencies of the world and want to switch to buying physical gold, physical silver. Now, right now, the average person doesn't have physical gold or physical silver. Back then, when they revalued it last time, a lot of people had gold. Your $20 was not paper. It was a $20 gold eagle. And so that's why they made it illegal, essentially, to hold gold. You could only have like up to 5 ounces or something. And essentially, they wanted to get it all for themselves because they recognized what was going on. And I really think that's why we have central banks right now buying up gold left and right, because they understand that eventually they're going to have to revalue gold or people will lose full confidence in the dollar. Now, here's the thing. It's not just United States central banks that are doing this. It's other central banks of the world. If everybody is doing it, you have to wonder what is going on that everybody is buying up gold. Now, I think they know it's coming. It's guaranteed. It's already probably even set when it's going to happen. Some people will say it won't happen until a major economic problem comes up. But let's be honest, $37 trillion is pretty major already. Who knows how bad it could get, but times are tough now, and so it makes sense that they would do it sooner. Now, let's jump over real quick and take a look at the disadvantages of doing this, because there are some. Obviously, these things have repercussions in the positive or in the negative way. Everything does. And so what are some of the drawbacks or repercussions that we could have by doing it? Well, potential inflation is the big one, in my opinion, and it happens to be the first one on the list because as they revalue the gold, it essentially gives them the ability to print more money because people will have confidence in that money. People will definitely want to be saving that country's money. Now, we've seen confidence come up when Russia first invaded Ukraine. What happened? Well, the U.S. Put sanctions against them, froze some of their big accounts, and Russia, to defend the ruble, instantly said, we're willing to buy gold at like $2,050. What did that do to gold? Well, here's the thing. It wasn't going to go in Russia. It wasn't going to sell for less than $2,050 because they knew no matter what, I could buy it on the open market and sell it to the Russian central banks. So no matter what, it put a floor under the price. It couldn't come down under that. Now, could it come down in other countries? To a certain point, yes, it could. But at a certain point, other countries would buy it off the open market for, let's say, $1,900 and then turn around and sell it to Russia for $2,050. Now, we are way up from $2,050 today. So even though they revalued it essentially to $2,050, look what happened. I mean, it essentially just pushed it even higher. Every time a major player puts a floor under the price, you're making it to where the price can't come down. It can only go up or remain the same. Because let's say gold today got revalued. Let's just hypothetically say to $4,000. Okay, would you still be able to pick up gold for $3,300? No, because Anybody that has it for 3,300 is going to just pull the sale and sell it to the Fed or the big whoever's buying it for 4,000. And so no one would be able to buy it for under 4,000 because the Fed would be sucking it all up at 4,000. Now, the Fed doesn't necessarily want to buy gold at $4,000 right now, not when they can get it cheaper. And that's why a lot of they're not going to talk about a revaluation because they don't want to compete with us. If we're buying up gold and driving the price up, it's going to make it more expensive for them. The next one, an impact on the dollar. With higher gold valuation could boost the confidence. We've talked a little bit about this in the dollar. It could make U.S. exports more expensive. Now, if the dollar gets stronger, that's good for Americans, but it makes our exports more expensive. When someone buys something from us, they've got to pay more for it in essentially more of their currency because our currency is stronger, potentially harming the manufacturing or agriculture sectors, or really any sectors. But let's just say manufacturing. Do we really manufacture a lot here in the United States? Compared to other countries, major players, we don't manufacture that much. We have huge agriculture, but a lot of that's getting bought up. But a lot of people don't realize how much land is being bought up by foreign countries, specifically China in the United States, and they're buying up all this land. Essentially, one day may come where any food that's produced to it, they say, you know what? We've already got a buyer for all that food. We're shipping it to China. Our buyer is over there. And then eventually we start seeing famines here in the United States because all of our farmland is growing food for another country. And that's why personally I'm against that the U.S. sells land to foreign countries or foreign people. It's something that me wanting to go to the Philippines at some point, I want to go, but if I go, I'd want to buy a cheap piece of land. I mean, foreigners can't buy land in most countries. Most countries do not allow you to buy it. Now, obviously, I'll always hear people say, oh, there's runarounds. You could marry a Filipino girl, and then you can buy land, or she can buy the land with your money. Yeah, I don't want to give the control of my money to someone else. I hate to say it like that. Even if it's a wife, I don't want someone else having full control over that. Moving on real quick, currency volatility. Revaluation, especially seen as a sign of financial desperation, could trigger currency volatility. So yeah, when they revalue gold, a lot of people might think, why are they revaluing it? Is it because they have bad practices? And now they're trying to make the dollar look stronger than it is. I don't really think it's manipulation in any way. I better not actually, because that's actually a topic here in a little bit. I don't want to say that one. But yeah, is it going to be, how's it going to be seen? Why are we doing it? Are we doing it just so we can borrow more money because we've grown our debt too much already? Who knows? Political complexity, revaluation through economic, straightforward, would acquire congressional approval, making it kind of a complex political undertaking. Yeah, to a certain point. I don't think it should be that hard, personally. I don't know why saying something is worth $3,300 when the world is buying it at $3,300. I don't understand where the complex issues are. Clearly, it's not worth $35 or $42, whatever. I think we have it valued at $42 right now. Clearly, you can't buy it for $42. Why would you even have it on the books for $42? That, to me, is just absurd. Limited impact on debt reduction. Some argue that the proceeds of gold revaluation would not significantly impact the national debt. Oh, yeah, I don't think it would impact the national debt at all because they're not going to sell the gold. All it's going to do is simply allow us to look good on paper. And if we look good on paper, we can borrow more money. People will want to buy our bonds. People will want to support the U.S. dollar because they'll view it as essentially a safe haven. And I know some people think that the US dollar is still the safe haven asset of the world. However, a lot of countries are more and more buying up gold now and getting rid of dollars. They don't want to hold them anymore because they understand the huge risk that comes with. Will we pay back our bills? So it's definitely something to consider. I think that's going to kind of wrap up a lot of what we talked about. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys my opinion on what I think is going to eventually happen. I think eventually they will revalue the price of gold. And when I hear people say, okay, if they got gold right now priced at $3,337, are they going to reevaluate it to that, or are they going to revalue it to a higher number? I think they would use a higher number. How much higher? I don't know. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, and this is what you have to understand. So right now, central banks are buying up gold left and right, although they will tell you we are not talking about revaluing gold. Now, would it be in their business interest to tell you we are talking about it behind closed doors, we're discussing it? No, because if they tell you that, they know that you might find out that, well, if they're going to revalue it, I can make quick dollars essentially. Because if they revalue it, your gold that was at $3,300, and then let's say for a minute, for easy math, they revalue it to $4,000. Well, I can invest $3,337, and instantly it will be worth $4,000. They're not going to tell you until the last minute. So the idea of they're not talking about, or that they've mentioned it but they're not discussing doing it, I think is absurd. I don't think they would tell you before they did it. They'll tell you after they did it, and then instantly the world gold prices will spike. And that will be good for the people that already have it, but the people that don't have it essentially aren't going to reap those rewards. They don't want you buying it now because they'll be competing. When they're buying it today, they'll be competing with you buying it also. How will it impact you overall? They know the average American does not have any gold. Let's be honest. I mean, you might have a gold ring, some gold jewelry. I've seen some girls that have some pretty amazing jewelry collections. When I look at it, I'm like, wow, they don't even realize what they got. Oh, it's pretty and it's gold. They don't understand what gold is. They just, oh, it's pretty and it's gold. And, that's good because now they have an asset that has value no matter what happens. But you have to have a good understanding on gold. Otherwise, when times get tough, you might end up taking your gold and selling it dirt cheap because I don't need pretty now. I need food on the table. I actually know one lady that, I should say husband. I know them both, but I was talking to the husband one day, and he was telling me how his wife took some old broken gold jewelry, useless, junk, and they gave her $2,000. That's what he told me. I couldn't believe. She came home with $2,000 for some old broken necklaces, an earring that was missing one, and a couple of rings, and that's just absurd. Why'd they give her $2,000? The stuff was all broken. I said, probably because they're going to melt it down, remanufacture those 3 ounces of gold that they just got from you for $2,000. I don't know how much gold was in the bag, but it was this little Ziploc bag. And essentially they're going to remanufacture something and sell it to someone else. Maybe they'll even make a gold eagle out of it. It'll work its way into being a gold eagle, and it will be in one of our collections. As you realize what is happening, you have to understand, eventually they will revalue the price of gold. Now, we're not going to know about it. It's just going to happen. When they revalue it, all of a sudden they're going to just continue to spend money. That's how they're going to keep these programs, because they need votes. And votes don't come when you pretend you're on Social Security for a minute. You're on Social Security. If they canceled Social Security, are you going to vote for them next time? No. I'm retired military. If they said, you know what, we're canceling all military retirements, am I going to vote for them next time? Heck no. I'm going to be upset. So once you realize that the only out, as people continue to lose confidence in the United States dollar, is a revaluation of gold, then the question left is how much are they going to revalue it to? So the easy answer would be they revalue it to current market price. But even if they revalue its current market price, it does fix some of the problems. It does what I said it would do, but it puts a floor under it too, which means it can only go up at that point. And I really think that when Russia did it, I think that naturally that drove it up around the world. And it essentially put a certain amount of floor under it. If the U.S. was to do it or China was to do it, naturally we would see crazy things. But I think eventually they'll have to show the gold in order for people to essentially accept it. If all of a sudden we said we're revaluing gold to $10,000 or even $4,000, people are going to want to see. They're going to want an inventory. They're going to want something. But maybe they won't, because the average person doesn't even understand what that means. They don't even understand the gold's probably not at Fort Knox. I don't think it is in Fort Knox. I think maybe there might be gold somewhere else, but I don't know. I mean, who knows how that will play out. There's a lot of money that goes into black budget, black book, essentially spending. Where does that money go? Hopefully that money's going to a big gold pile in some mountain in the middle of nowhere that's under guard all the time and poses as some small little military base. We'll see how that plays out. I think it will get revalued. It's just a matter of time. They've got to get theirs first, and that gives us time to get ours. And it's naturally going to take silver up with it. You're not going to have $10,000 gold and $40 silver. That would put the gold-silver ratio way out of whack, and essentially it would just flood people to buy into it. So naturally gold would go up too. I don't think that you would even, I mean, the ratio that we're at, the gold-silver ratio right now, I still think is extremely high. Do I think it could go higher? We've seen it higher. Do I think it could go lower? I think the likely is it will probably go lower, as either the price of gold will sit while the price of silver continues to climb, or it's a possibility the price of gold could go up and the price of silver will go up even more, based on percentages. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was a great topic. I'm so glad that it got suggested, because it really was 32 minutes. It really tied in nicely for the video. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up here. I thank everybody for watching. Please check out some of these other great videos. I try to post videos every day, Monday through Friday. I may change up my schedule a little bit and start doing Saturday and Sunday and find 2 other days. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence of that. I'm not really a big person that likes change. I try to keep things the same, but I have noticed Saturday and Sunday have better views on YouTube, and a lot of people don't go back on Saturday and Sunday and catch the video that they missed in the weekday. But if it goes up on Saturday or Sunday, they always catch it. So I'm trying to figure out the right days to take off. I really do like the couple days off because it kind of gives me a little bit of me time, which I kind of need, a day to relax and catch up on personal stuff. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow on the next one. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and check out all these other great videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again. Bye-bye.